We've just finished watching the 4th episode of House of David, the Song of Moses, which is out now on Amazon Prime. And we're going to get into our thoughts on the episode, what we thought about it. But before we do that, my name is Chin. This is Nick. And this is Offbeat POV, the show that dives into the trending topics, what's going on in pop culture at the moment from a Christian point of view. Because I think Christians, this day and age, with everything that's going on in the world, I think sometimes you just need a space to have really deep, explorative conversations, all framed in a biblical framework. So if that sounds interesting, consider subscribing. But if you're just here for the review, then let's get into that.
All right, so I'm not gonna lie to you. I really enjoyed this episode. I felt like the story is now like getting in.
Yeah.
So as an overview summary, I think this episode focused a lot more on David and the House of Saul, not so much to do with Saul per se, which is something that I really liked as well. Once again, just like we were saying with episode 2 and 3, it kind of like zoomed in a little bit and was sort of like them bringing to light everyday issues, you know, like the kind of things that families grapple with, you know, on the ground road, which I absolutely loved. And that was both in the House of Saul and also David's family. So it was really like looking at the family dynamics and how the news impacted the House of David and also the continuing ongoings of the House of Saul.
Yeah.
You know, so that was the main focal point of this episode. And I've got to say, there was no action, you know, because I think episode 3 kind of led us astray a little bit, thinking there's going to be swords and whatnot, but it was just equally as enjoyable. So that's a quick summary for everybody.
Yeah, so I mean, it definitely was enjoyable. And now that I think about it, you're right, there wasn't much action, but it didn't feel
lagging,
it didn't feel
boring,
like it was dragging.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like the first 30 minutes of the first episode.
Exactly.
And I think that's because a lot more of the characters shone through. I really liked getting to know David and Mika. I really liked the love story that they were developing there.
You know, actually a thought came to my mind. Remember, one of the comments we got was saying that give David a bit of time.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna come through.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved his personality in the House of David.
Yes.
Because we got that a little bit of fearlessness, which comes through.
And wonder, yeah.
Fearlessness, curiosity, wonder.
Yeah.
You saw what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also like that bit, the scared bit, because remember the build up was, if they find out, you know, we're traitors, we are gonna be killed. So he gets into the throne room and overhears that I will kill anybody who tries to take my throne. And the man panicked. The man lost his knees, started shaking. He couldn't hear properly. Now he's like, oh, damn. Big bro was right. But yeah, I absolutely loved that. And then it's like the princess brought him back to life. And I loved that whole scene. Like I said, we can break it down, but it was, I think, for me, in terms of story development, it was by far my favorite. However, we don't get, again, just to highlight biblically, we don't get that until the Goliath kind of thing. They never made until after the fact, isn't it? So again, just to say in the chronological order, that's not how the story goes. But
yeah, well,
as content, it's good.
And I mean, I have heard quite a few people take issue with the show because they feel like it doesn't follow the biblical story as, I guess, as accurately as they wanted to. But I was wondering what you think about that critique, because this is what we're saying, because it surely can't be a page to screen type of adaptation, because it just won't make for very good TV.
Okay, so and that's the problem there. That's the problem there, because a lot of things are being created to make good TV, and a lot of morals, a lot of, you know, principles are dropped in the name of good TV. Whether it's like we're creating content to entertain now. That's a fact. We're creating to entertain. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that everything out there is trash, but we're creating to entertain. So when you come to a genre like this, what's at the heart of most people, because we've already got the writing. It's like me doing an adaptation of Harry Potter. Yeah, and that's actually a very good example. Any movie that's been directed or produced based on a book, there's always going to be that comparison. And what you want to see is you want to see the book brought to life. Yeah, you don't want to see, of course, there's always a little bit here and there, but Harry Potter would not have been Harry Potter if now in the film he's not Harry Potter, he's Sally Potter.
Wait. So what are you saying? Are you saying
what I'm saying
not
is that
doing it justice?
No.
Are doing it justice?
Personally, I'm okay with the series. If we are gonna ask, are they doing it justice? Episode 3, like I said, that's a big flaw in the story. It didn't happen like that in the Bible. Yeah. So if we were to ask me, are they doing the story of David justice as per the way it's given to us in the Bible? Well, the answer is going to have to be no. But is it a very good sort of like creative adaptation, something Christians can watch and enjoy, something that can make us, think more about biblical writings and biblical stories, namely David? Well, then the answer is going to be yes. Okay,
so as far as you're concerned, thus far the series is fine. You would recommend Christians to watch it?
I would, yes. It will always come with a caution that, this is not to be used as a reference source. But yes, if on a Saturday night, Friday night, whatever, you and your family, you want to watch something, instead of turning on Game of Thrones, I will tell you, watch The House of David any day. Instead of watching a Hollywood movie, Bollywood movie, Nigerian movie, I'll tell you, turn on The House of David any day, because it does bring that entertainment aspect. It does bring in that factor. And like I said, for those that are serious with the teachings of the Bible, it really does get you to think.
I did really like the writing of the episode.
100%.
I think the writers of this episode, not only are they good content writers, but I think they're very good at staying true to the characters.
Yes.
So the words that the characters speak are coming from them as characters and not them as writers, if that makes sense. Because I did say before that sometimes there's a tendency for people to get too easily led to being preachy, or
copy
maybe
and paste.
Yeah, or maybe how,
so
or maybe
having is to read the scriptures and understand the people that existed, the characters, and then create them from that aspect.
Bring them to life and stuff like that. And the reason that stood out to me is because I really like the way that they're subtly bringing about very important conversations in the series. So for example, the first one that came to mind early on is when the brother Ishbal was talking to King Saul, the father Saul. And he was trying to say, let me contribute in some way. Let me ease your burden in some way. And his suggestion was, bringing the arts over, bringing people from Egypt, and, all the entertainment and stuff like that. And he had that, and he'd be like, and father, it's going to be the ultimate destruction. And it's stuff like that where it's like, because of who he is as a character, it makes sense. But then if you think about it, you're like, oh damn, because it's a very subtle way of communicating how the arts and the entertainment and that kind of industry can be a very good way at distracting the people. Because remember, at this point, they're telling the house.
I bet you love this. After we looked at your Hollywood and witchcrafting, I bet you are like, yes.
No, because obviously right now the House of Saul is the vehicle of which, if left unchecked, it's the vehicle which is going to infect the house of Israel with all sorts of idolatry and being led astray, because them as a house, they've started slipping away. So obviously they're going to infect the whole Israel.
They are the heart of the scandal. So just like any good show,
pretty much,
they're going to bring in a politician specialist who in this case is embodied by the son, so to speak, who just got banished. So I don't know what's going to happen there, to bring a distraction, which is what we know happens even in the world today. Something comes out about this president or about this royal family, then suddenly someone has gotten shot in Afghanistan. Now the whole world is like, oh my day, someone's gotten shot in Afghanistan. We're no longer focusing on
but it's just sort of like subtle social commentary that like it's not so in your face, so it doesn't feel preachy. It's like, oh, that makes sense. That's a very good point.
People that actually, and I think this goes back to the argument of the light is the lamp of the body, because we have to be very intentional about what we consume and what we watch, because for those that are actually consuming the right content, these are the kind of things that sort of like open your mind. These are the kind of things that, hats off to the writers. You are very right, because oftentimes it's not about the people that are standing in the pulpits and saying, oh, this, oh, that, oh, that. Oftentimes it's the kind of things that are brought in a way that gives you a whole picture, from beginning to end, and from how tiny little things can build up can build a wave to then effect a big change somewhere somehow.
Yeah.
So you're very right about that. It's very right.
And to be fair, the second one that really stood out to me was the scene between David and the Queen. When the Queen was talking to David about how he's brought him over, and she referenced how the Egyptians or the gods of the Egyptians or whatever were being soothed through music or whatnot. And David is like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, I only serve one God, which is Hashem. And she was like, oh yeah, very well, but still, we can still learn from others. Truth can be found in many places.
Mad. You see what I mean? That's a quote we've heard so many times. Let's not to digress too much, but let's go back to Bible study days when we used to have a little circles. That's something that we would hear all the time when we talk about other preachers, other listeners, other whatever, and this spirit was coming in of, oh no, we can consume everything and everywhere, because there'll be a little piece of truth there, a little piece of truth there, a little piece of truth there. That never sat well with me. I couldn't argue against it, but it never sat well with me, because I couldn't argue against it because I wouldn't say, no, don't watch other things.
Yeah.
But the way it was phrased, it never sat well with me. And that's exactly what she was saying. You know, we can pick things they didn't know. Truth only comes from God.
And it's the type of language that sounds really nice to the ears on the surface. Because it's like, I am still looking for truth. I am still looking for truth.
Let me not be narrow-minded. Let me be broad. Let me look at what the Muslims are doing and the Buddhists are doing. I'll take a little bit of the Buddhists, a little bit of the Muslims, a little bit of the Sikhism.
Yes. And in the end, you create something that is full truth. But really, what
you're creating is the beast. Because you've got a little bit of the Muslim's leg.
There you go. But that's the thing. And for me, I think that's what good writing is. Good writing is writing that forces your audience to engage with the content. So you're not just telling your audience what to think. You're not just telling them what your position is.
Presenting something.
You're presenting a character, and the character, obviously, you're making them as real as possible. And then through the words and the ideology and the point of view of that character, you can then be like, that's interesting because that reflects this. That's interesting because that comments on this. That's interesting because that's good writing.
Do you know the mad thing is that we're having this conversation because obviously of the House of David. But I would argue, or I would put it to you, that a lot of secular content that's out there, especially in the Hollywood, people have argued that it's in our face has been doing the same thing.
In our face?
Yeah, like has been pointing to the sort of like the negative influence that their own content is having on the population.
Of course, it's a known thing. Exactly. It's not even debated. It's a known thing. Yeah.
So we will sit there and argue, oh no, that doesn't influence me. But even they themselves are telling you that no, it is influencing.
There's a reason why
you're wearing what you're wearing.
There's a reason why it's $1 billion industry.
Exactly.
It's not just.
There's a reason why you want to go to Turkey for a holiday and
100%.
not this place.
100%.
So,
no, but okay. So I mean, all in all, final thoughts then on the episode.
All in all, final thoughts. I think if I look at the whole 1 to 4 as a whole, I think we've seen a rise in quality of everything. I would say, yeah. Even if we look at production, we were talking about acting last time as well. The acting in this episode was flawless. It's certain people. So maybe it was just us or me, our eyes were just a bit new to it, or just warming up to it. Yeah, but again, like I said, what stood out to me, the House of Judah, that conversation when the aftermath of David's going to be king, loved that. Don't know. Again, the Dinah situation with the son Ishbal. Again, biblically, I can't remember where that's placed, but I have no doubt it's playing a bigger part in the story, so I was also okay with that.
Well, Ishbal was the future king of Israel. Because after the focus on this episode, I was like, hang on. So I went back and I was like, oh, Ishbal.
So before David came, Ishbal came.
No, because remember David split. David is the reason why the kingdom of Israel split. Yeah.
So, gotcha. So we had David and then Ishbal, 10 tribes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant then. Oh, you saw him. So that's brilliant. Because I knew there was a reason. So even that didn't annoy me. In fact, I liked seeing a bit of ambition in him when he spoke to Saul.
Yeah.
I like that. So that was brilliant. Again, I'm glad that they didn't really dwell too much into it, but I felt a bit of an Elijah situation with Samuel when he found the aide dead.
All right, okay.
And then ran to the wife. Pack your things, hurry, just what you need. I was laughing to myself that you tell a woman just what you need. It's a whole house.
Okay. No,
What are you going to say?
No, I thought you were going to focus on something else. Because when we were watching, because I was watching with my wife, we also commented on that scene. Because when Samuel came and said, pack your bags, we need to go or whatever, the woman would just like, oh, okay, fine, 10 round, I want to pack your bags. So we're laughing, you're like, women these days, you start asking questions. Oh, why? Oh, no. But then, immediately after that, we checked ourselves because, no. But she didn't need to because she already knew exactly what was happening. Because before Samuel even went off and down on David, they had the conversation, whatever. So when he came back and said, pack your bags, she already knew what happened.
He actually did say the aide is dead.
Before they left, he even expressed that, but this could be a death sentence. So the woman already knew the situation.
So in other words, you were saying that women are kept into the camp anyway. So if an instruction comes, let's run.
Yeah.
You're not asking why are we running,
which is
different.
If she's just minding her own business, you haven't told her anything, she doesn't know anything, and then you just can't pack your bags, you need to go. Of course, she'll be like, why? What's happened? What do you know? All those questions will come. So 100%. Immediately after that, we're like, no, but it's because of this. So I guess for us, we were just interested to say, okay, that's why it's important to always be communication in family. Everybody knows what's happening, or whatever. So that when those moments come, pack your bags, let's go.
Everyone is packing their
all
bags.
Right, cool, let's go. Because everybody knows what's happening.
So I love that as well. And like I said, I love the scene with David playing for the first time as well. That's the first time I actually understood that whole scene with the playing and also the interaction with is it Mika about the music. He's like, I'm a poet, words are my thing. That brought to life what you were saying last time about the poetic side of, or the creative side of David. That was a moving scene, to be fair, when he was playing the king.
Yeah, no.
Even did you catch Jonathan's look as well? Because we know what happens. Everybody was mesmerized by that, and I thought that was well put. Because again, biblically, we know that he was playing the flute. We are never told about singing. Again, I'm not too mad about that.
He wrote Psalms. I think I didn't mention this last time.
Well, I'm saying singing too, so.
Oh, okay.
You see?
Fair enough.
So again, I absolutely loved that scene. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was quite good. So yeah. So those are my final thoughts. Like I said, I think there were 3
out of 10. What would you say?
Out of 10, I would give it, again, just not to be too kind, I would give it an 8, 7.58.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I mean, I definitely agree. I think it was a really good episode. I think it was an episode where it finished and I was like, wait, what, already? Because I don't feel like a lot happened, but enough happened that I was still involved and still in it. So it was
the story made strides.
Yeah, 100%. So it was good in that the characters grew. All in all, I think I'd agree. I think I'll probably give it a 7. But I'm very, not harsh, but I'm always fair with my ratings. With my ratings. So I think I'll definitely give it a 7 as an episode. It will be interesting to see where the story evolves to. Ladies and gents, that's our review. That's our thoughts on the House of David. In keeping with who we are as a show and who we are as people, we like getting into the details of things and like getting to the deep down level, if that's even a way of putting it.
Ted created a word called organs, so I'm sure we're gonna start making our own words now.
So we do stray a little bit from just the typical looking at the show, what happened and cinematography and things and stuff like that. We like getting into the behind the text, I guess you can say, and behind the intentions of the writer. But that's what we think. You let us know. What do you think? Are you enjoying the series so far? Are you on the group of the lot that are saying, actually, just because it's not page to screen, therefore it shouldn't be consumed as Christian content? Or are you on our side that says, no, even as Christians, we do have the license and the freedom to be creative, as long as we're fair and in keeping to the story, and whatever creative liberties we take do not impact the actual biblical story that we're given? What do you think? Which come to your phone? You let us know. My name is Chin. This is Nick. This is Off Me POV. Goodbye.